Hello DIYers. Today we're replacing the alternator on a 2009 Toyota Camry. If you're having issues that feel like your lights are wonky, or if you just replaced your battery and it's still dying, it might be the alternator that's giving you trouble. This guide should work for all 4-cylinder 2.4-liter non-hybrid Camrys between 2007 and 2009. If you know what you're doing and you're just looking for part numbers or torque specs, information will be on screen and in the description below. Let's get started. Since most people don't own a multimeter, this video won't be a comprehensive guide to diagnosing a bad alternator. But I do want to show some quick indicators that the alternator might be an issue. First is if the battery is below 12.7 volts. While 12.3 volts doesn't seem like that much lower, it represents the battery only being about 50% charged. Since an alternator should be charging your battery full every time you drive, this usually means that there's an issue. The second is making sure that the voltage of your alternator is above 14 volts when your car is running. This alternator shows 13.8 volts, but it's also making some wonky sounds. My guess is when the car is at speed, the alternator isn't holding voltage very well, and it's at end of life. If the battery is fairly new and losing charge, it's worth looking into if the alternator is a problem. Before we work on anything related to electricity, let's make sure to remove the ground from the battery. The ground terminal is removed with a 10mm socket. Now that we did that quick diagnosis and confirmed that the alternator might be an issue, we can swap it to a new one. The first step is to remove the dry belt, sometimes referred to as the accessory belt or the serpentine belt. The tensioner needs a 19mm socket. Here, I just have a standard socket on a breaker bar, but any long handle ratchet to get enough leverage should work. You can also get a serpentine belt toolkit, which I'll have links below. Turning clockwise on the tensioner will loosen it enough to remove the belt. The belt on this car was replaced not that long ago and is still new. So the only thing we're doing is removing the belt from the alternator pulley. If you want, this would be the time to replace the belt as well. Just make sure you note how the belt is looped around the pulleys. With the belt removed, we can work on removing the alternator. Let's start with all the connectors at the top. The connector here can be removed by pushing with your thumb. The main output cable has a 10mm nut. I like to put the nut back on after removing the cable. This way there's no chance of losing it, and later we can transfer it to the new alternator. The top bracket holding the wiring harness is also a 10mm. After removing that, the bottom bracket is held on by an 8mm bolt and can be removed really slowly using a wrench like I'm doing here, or a Phillips head screwdriver if you don't like suffering. Now everything is loose and we only have 2 more bolts to secure the alternator in place. There's a 14mm bolt at the top of the left face. If that face were a clock, it would be at about 10 o'clock if that helps. I found a deep socket works best. A 3-inch extension was a little bit too long and a 1-inch extension was a little bit too short. The other bolt is a 12mm and it's right at around 6 o'clock. It's hard to see because the alternator pulley is blocking it. You'll also want a deep socket here. With all the bolts removed, we can give the alternator a little wiggle and it should come right out. So far, so good. Next up is the new alternator. First thing we want to do is check that it's the same exact one. Oh, and here's the box and part number if you want to order the same one that I did. Then we can transfer the bolts we left on the old alternator to the new one. And reminder here that this bolt we can use a Phillips on to save time. Back in the engine bay, we'll go in reverse order of the previous steps. Let's take the new alternator and slide it back into place. The alternator is going to be a little bit snug since it's new, but you should be able to wiggle and work it on. So first, let's put the 14mm and 12mm bolts back on to secure the alternator. The 14mm bolt needs to be torqued to 38 foot-pounds. The bottom 12mm bolt is only at 16 foot-pounds. Then we can secure the top wiring harness bracket, and again, that's a 10mm bolt. The main output cable terminal is also secured with a 10mm nut, and that connector just clicks back into place. And lastly, the bottom wire harness bracket goes back on most easily with a Phillips screwdriver, but it's a 10mm bolt if you really want to do it that way. Now hopefully while we swap the alternator, the accessory belt didn't fall too far out of place. If not, no worries, the belt is easy to route. A pretty easy rule of thumb to follow is that the pulleys that have tracks on it match the inside part of the belt, and the pulleys that don't have a track on it are for the outside of the belt. We'll have to pull the tensioner loose again to get the belt looped onto the alternator pulley. Then let's do one final check to make sure that the belt is aligned properly on every pulley. It's a really good time to double check everything, as a misalignment can very quickly shred an accessory belt. Now we're ready to reconnect the battery. I'm taking a battery terminal brush here and cleaning off the leads and terminals on the battery to ensure that our new alternator operates in an ideal state. When that's all done, we'll tighten down the negative cable clamp with a 10mm socket. And we're on the final stretch. We can start the car and confirm that the accessory belt is on properly. After that, here I'm just measuring the voltage of the new alternator. As you can see, we're at 14.1 volts, which is higher than the old alternator's 13.8 volts. and this serves as a pretty clear sign that the old alternator was on its last leg. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this alternator replacement guide for a 2009 Toyota Camry XLE with the non-hybrid 2.4-liter 4-cylinder. If you found this guide helpful, your likes, subscribes, shares, and comments really help tell the YouTube algorithm that my videos are worth recommending to others. I'm Alan, and this is Metaloop. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.